McAfee!
You buggy-whipped arm, no-brain hillbilly!
You think you can come here
to the business, my business of pro wrestling, and run your mouth while you just wrote a check that your narrow ass can't cash? You want to talk about ticket sales? Do me a favor, call up that agent
that was foolish enough to shoehorn you into this business and this show, and tell him to lower the ticket prices.
So CM Punk just said on Monday Night Raw what we've been saying since November 2025. Lower the ticket prices. And they called it a pipe bomb. But here's what nobody's asking. Was it a pipe bomb? Or was it just the truth at this point? Because people are questioning, and we're going to go about it. Welcome to the T-Drop. Strong brew, no soft behavior. We're going all the way in on TKO today because this isn't about Pat McAfee at this point. It's not just about the empty seats. It's not about corporate buzzwords. It's all whether the company we grew up loving has been quietly handed over to people who see it as content asset, not a wrestling company at this point, just money for them. So let's get into it. Here's what people misunderstand. TKO isn't Triple H. Triple H still books the shows, right? Well, kind of. But TKO is the owner. They're just the landlord at this point. And right now, the landlord is telling the tenant what furniture to put in the house. This is the best way I can say it as a construction person. Ariel Emanuel is a Hollywood talent agent and as well, besides being the TKO guy. But he's not a wrestling promoter. He's a talent agent. He's not a booker, a talent agent. And the way he sees WWE, it's a content platform for him, a vehicle, a distribution network. And in what world does a Hollywood talent agent's agenda line up with what we as the fans want on a Friday night or on a Monday night or on a PLE or whatever we call it at this point? In what world does synergy makes a better match card? So here are the receipts on how we got here. When Triple H took over around summer of 2022, the product was, for the most part, pretty decent. It was elite. Late 2022, 2023 into early 2025, the internet, the fans, for the most part, was happy. Some of the people even said it was the best era since the Attitude Era. I don't know if that's 100% accurate, but some people are wild about saying that. They said that this is the Renaissance era. And then the WrestleMania season started happening under TKO's full influence. And it went sideways fast. They started calling it the Ruthless Depression era. Instead of Ruthless Aggression, we're going to call ourselves, we're in the Ruthless Depression era. Let me give you the corporate translation of what just happened to the Cody versus Randy feud, to the point that CM Punk is now involved. Ariel Emanuel, the boss at TKO, looked at Pat McAfee and saw not a wrestling personality. He saw a movie star in development. He wants Pat McAfee to be, what? The next Sylvester Stallone. Apparently, Pat McAfee recently recorded a few episodes with Sylvester Stallone in Tulsa King. So he's going to appear in the next season of Tulsa King, by the way. That's why he was out filming back in March. Hence is why he's here now. He's also doing a movie, I forgot what it's called, but regardless. And that's Sylvester Stallone guy. That's what's reported. Bloomberg website, and also because TKO owns both the ESPN deal and WWE, they can insert Pat McAfee into a WrestleMania main event storyline as a business move. Not a creative decision, a business move. Didn't Pat leave commentary because he was tiring and he wouldn't hang? He did say that, Chef. You are absolutely right. And he did leave because he was tired of commentary, to your point. He couldn't hang. He actually said, if you saw my last video, said he thinks WWE is at a good point right now. That they don't need him. That he wished them the best. He said that a few weeks ago. There you go. But now he's okay. He wants to be part of this. He did say it was tiring, but now he's all about it. I guess money talks. And future endeavors talks in Hollywood. But anyway, it was all a business move. Now, I want you to think about this for a second, because Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes, these two had decades of history. decades of history. We're talking about the legacy storyline. We're talking about the Rhodes family drama. We're talking about Apex Predator and the American Nightmare. You're telling me that this feud needed Pat McAfee holding a dead cell phone to be compelling? Where does this make sense, guys? This is a prime example of TKO as a non-wrestling, knowledgeable storytellers, matchmakers, bookers, you name it, they don't know it. Getting involved when not needed. They need Triple H and his team to do their job. Yes, they haven't been doing a consecutive good job, but that's for them to figure out that blunder, not TKO, not panicking because tickets aren't selling that quickly and forcing their hand in there. You gotta let the people that are supposed to be able to do it figure it out. They thought by letting go Road Dogg that would help fix it. Yet, I never thought Road Dogg was the issue. There's too many cooks in the kitchen, I feel. I think that's my thoughts. But anyway, we're back to the WrestleMania 41 Travis Scott all over again. And I'm not the only one saying it. There's been so many people saying it. There's a video that was dropped by Assemble Wrestling on this exact topic. So we're going to go run it through him and let him speak and let him tell us what he thinks.
Seemingly just can't help themselves from doing this. And going overboard. Pat's recent involvement in the Cody-Randy match feels a lot like Travis Scott and The Rock from WrestleMania 41.
That's facts. It strongly feels like that, except there's no Rock involvement. And instead of making a story ahead of time like they did last year, and just gave us waiting time. Now we're doing it at the last minute. But anyway.
That TKO wanted to push tickets for Elimination Chamber in Toronto. I was there. I saw The Rock. I saw Travis Scott, and my wife was sitting there and said, "Who's that guy?" They called The Rock. They got him involved. We got the heel turn from John Cena. We got the beatdown of Cody Rhodes, which seems to be the theme now for WrestleMania season, is Cody gets hit in the front area.
It's always been a thing for poor Cody. He's the one getting beat up every time on the road to WrestleMania. I don't know what happened in 39, but at 40, he got his butt whipped with a belt saying Mama Rhodes. And 39, and on the road to 41, he got hugged by John Cena, then kicked in the groin, and then punched in the ear to the point his eardrum popped thanks to Travis Scott or whatever. And then now this time it's the same thing. Poor balls. I feel bad for Brandy right now.
He goes down because celebrity hit him. And The Rock later confirming that they wanted to make a huge moment. They would have Cody turn heel if they could, but that didn't seem to work out. So they pivoted and they went with John Cena. A huge moment.
Yeah.
Definitely shocking. Definitely
shocking.
Something worth remembering. Travis Scott's involvement didn't make a lick of sense.
It was shocking because of John Cena. It wasn't shocking because of freaking Travis Scott. Travis Scott was just there as freaking decor. If you were playing a video game, he's just a DLC clothing decor for John Cena at this point. There's no relevancy of Travis Scott involvement except thanks Travis Scott for breaking Cody Rhodes' eardrum. That's all you freaking did. You had no relevancy in the damn thing.
Felt very TKO corporate. And at WrestleMania 41, we don't see the final boss involved. We get Travis Scott. In the main event of WrestleMania.
That's because The Rock got mad because people were mad at him because of this storyline, and he took his ball home like a little kid. When you don't agree with The Rock, he gets mad. That's how his MO. It's been very well documented in the past by other people. Or at least, like the whole thing with the Fast and the Furious, how he got into little disputes with other actors. Then this whole thing that he did with freaking Black Adam. It was his way or the highway. If it's his way or the highway, that's it. If you don't like it, then he walks away. And Triple H didn't let him get in control of WrestleMania 41, so he walked away. He took his ball home.
Travis Scott got involved, and he got Crossroads and thrown out of there. He disappears. So what was the point? Especially at that time.
Damn!
I'm with The Rock. Pat McAfee's random involvement in the main event feels a lot of the same. It's a heel turn out of nowhere and a lack of direction. Attacking Cody Rhodes, the top babyface, the celebrity in the main event, and it's completely unnecessary.
Back to the weird movement of corporate control in the past, because imagine we are probably at this point potentially heading, and people already brought it up, WCW 2000 storytelling, but more importantly, this is giving us the feeling of something else. Because imagine we are potentially heading to a similar WCW versus WWE 2001 Invasion storyline. And in the future, in today's world, but now it's between WWE and TKO. And at the end of the day, it's going to be about who controls the day-to-day creative of WWE. Whatever this real-life heat is happening between the internal conflict in WWE and TKO, don't be surprised to see it in a storyline in the future. Ari Emanuel, for the most part, had respect for Vince McMahon. That he basically never questioned Vince McMahon. But with Triple H in control now, with Triple H in control right now, as soon as there is an issue with ticket sales or things not moving the way he hoped financially, TKO forces himself in the creative more or in the big decisions for WWE, and it's become more obvious than before. Because obviously TKO has lightly grained their forcefulness even as far back as WrestleMania 40, with the Cody pivot at the Royal Rumble. And then the TKO Rock involvement, which led to The Rock for some reason taking over the main event against Roman Reigns, and eventually people going towards the We Want Cody movement. Then in 2025, TKO and The Rock involvement at the Elimination Chamber, it was due to poor ticket sales and needed him to help boost the event. So then it became a whole storyline of Cody selling his soul storyline. This led to the Cena, Rock, and Travis Scott storyline confrontation towards Cody, which led to nothing at WrestleMania 41. Honestly, we had Travis Scott doing a non-narrative sense job in the Cody and Cena feud. Gave little to nothing to that match. In fact, made it worse. It was already worse. You made it worse, sir. But anyway. Then we had the whole WrestleMania 42 being announced to be in New Orleans, which ironically was supposed to be this weekend, guys. April 11th and April 12th. Not happening. For some reason, WWE decided to then pivot back months later to Las Vegas.
WrestleMania 41 was the most successful WrestleMania in history. We shattered every record from attendance to viewership. So we're running it back to the sports and entertainment capital of the world. It's time to double down, Las Vegas. WrestleMania returns in 2026. Are you ready? Now get me off of this thing.
Vegas canceling New Orleans. This is all TKO greed name all over it. The biggest mistake for the sale of this upcoming WrestleMania goes towards TKO. They're the fault for moving it to Las Vegas. They're the fault for making the tickets even more expensive or selling overpriced fashion, like Chef Michael said. Look at that. Travis Scott, yeah. He sold that WWE Mankind line, and it was ridiculously expensive for no reason. Some of the stuff looked good, but it was very expensive. Not worth buying it. It was TKO's biggest mistake to move WrestleMania to Vegas. People were excited about New Orleans, even though they've gone there for the third freaking time in the past 20 years. But whatever. At least it's a different location. Cactus Jack. Sorry about that. Cactus Jack. Doesn't matter who bought it. People who are broke now. That's who bought it. And you can blame the storytelling on Triple H. Triple H is the issue with storytelling leading up to the build-up to WrestleMania to make me want to spend a ridiculous amount of tickets that TKO wants. TKO put the pedestal so high that Triple H can't even meet it with storylines at this point. It's everyone's fault at this point. It is what it is. Yet the major stories now we are seeing are being celebrities force-fed to us because the ticket sales also is an issue. So they think the answer is to give us celebrities because, yeah, they're not even celebrities at this point. These are social media influencers. Yes, iShowSpeed is there, but which kid is going to force their parents to spend that amount of money to go there? No one. Sorry. Should have put someone with a bigger celebrity that bigger wallets will want to show up. Now, look, I need to hold it down for a second because I need to show you something. Our page, obviously, and other creators, because it's not just me, have been ahead of this narrative for months now. Not reacting to it, but been ahead. My channel alone had 3 videos of TKO doing this BS. A few pages online were talking about this as well, about this, but it's just become recently, finally, it seems that the whole wrestling internet fandom is just getting more united over this right now and calling them out. Before they were quiet about it, they're like, okay, we'll pay for it. But now that the stories suck, now that people are pissed that the stories suck, and you know that the prices you pay is not worth the investment, now everyone's talking. You should have been talking since December. Should have been talking since before that, because SummerSlam tickets were ridiculous as well. Oh well. We only speak the best way possible with all the information we have. We always try to talk about the relevant stories that help fans. That's what it means to be a channel that actually talks about it and not brush it off because of fear of WWE hating you in the future. This is not a page talking about wrestling for getting props from these companies. This is a wrestling channel for the fans and for us to be able to talk with the fans. We are here to share moments, here to share discussion and talk about our gripes if possible, but also talk about the good things about wrestling. I'm not here to make a channel to be like, oh, WWE, AEW, pick me. No, I don't need that. I'm not here to do fluff pieces and flex what wrestling products we have from the mail. I'm not here for that because that's everyone at this point and it's getting rather sickening. And I'd rather talk about how we can get the product better. Even though it's not my job to get the product better, it sure is be able to inform people that doesn't have all the information because the internet is everywhere. So here's the question the IWC is wrestling with right now, pun intended. It is the pricing or is it the product? Because here's the thing, when you charge $10,000 ticket for a front row seat ticket and the card has a sports commentator in the main event match against two legends who haven't had a single barely a face-to-face promo going into WrestleMania. The answer is both. You can't charge premium prices for a discounted product. That's not how it works. Even in corporate America, that's not how it works. And one Reddit commentator said that hit different was, it doesn't take a genius to realize that reasonably priced tickets fill seats. You don't need an MBA. You need to actually care about the fan. Now, let's talk about the elephant, or should I say the camel in the room. WrestleMania 43. Where is it? Saudi Arabia. WrestleMania 43, Saudi Arabia. Now, before we go any further, I want to be clear. We covered this before. Saudi Arabia as a PLE destination is one thing. Saudi Arabia as WrestleMania, though, that's a completely different conversation. Now, why is that? WrestleMania is supposed to be the Super Bowl of sports entertainment. It's supposed to be accessible for everyone for the most part. Somehow, financially, geographically, it should. But we can do international events as long as it's easy to get there for the fan base that built it. And when you move it to Riyadh, you have immediately eliminated the average wrestling fan ability to attend, not because they don't want to. It's also because a plane ticket, a visa, and a hotel in Saudi Arabia is not a 200-weekend trip to Cleveland or anywhere else. I mean, it's okay to do it like in England, for example, but it's an easy way to get a visa. Going all these trips to Saudi Arabia is ridiculous. Some people that went from here to go to the Royal Rumble, they spent over a day traveling. Why? That shouldn't be the case. Well, anyway, you throw in the geopolitical situation with the U.S.-Iran tensions that have been reporting and swirling around about whether the event would even happen there. And you've got TKO making the biggest show of the year dependent on a government deal at this point, not a fan demand, not a host city competition, whatever the government's going to do with Iran at this point. And that's something else at this point. Now, here's where it gets interesting because CM Punk on Monday Night Raw, as you know, in what's reportedly an off-script moment, cut a promo directly calling out Pat McAfee and the agent who put him in the business. And then he said, lower the prices. Punk went on national television and said that we have been saying this in the community for a while. And TKO had to respond publicly and quickly because that's how loud the situation has gotten since Monday. But here's where there's a debate online. Was it actually off script because WWE uploaded that promo to their YouTube channel? And if Triple H truly had knowledge of it, would it be on the official channel hours later? Probably so. Viral moments are viral moments for WWE. Whatever gets them the numbers. This is where work and shoot are the same thing at the same time, I guess. And that's the most WWE thing that's ever happened. Either way, though, the content of that promo was a shoot. Those ticket prices are too damn high. TKO did shoehorn Pat McAfee in, and the fans are responding exactly how you expect. The IWC is alive on this one, at least, when it comes to the rope. There's a term that's been floating around since then on multiple Reddit threads this week, and it's anthicification. And it took me a while to figure out what the hell they were talking about. It's what happens when a platform or a company optimizes so hard for extracting value that it forgets to create it. It's what happens to Twitter, to Facebook, to even cable TV at this point. And a growing section of the internet of our fans believes it's happening to WWE on or TKO at this moment. Celebrity involvement over storyline. Some celebrity involvement is okay in the middle of the card, but do you really need it for the main events? If you do, it's a storytelling problem at this point. Ticket prices that price out the core fan, a WrestleMania going to a market that's more about a city deal than a love for the product. And through all of it, the wrestlers are still out there putting their bodies on the line. The talent deserves better at this point. The stories deserve better. And honestly, we deserve better as fans. But here's my question for the community, and I need y'all in the chat right now. Is TKO the problem? Is Triple H the problem? Or is the problem that nobody in that boardroom has actually been a wrestling fan? Let me know in the comments. Now, before I let you off, now I'm going to give you a 30-second of, I guess, a little devil's advocate when it comes to this. TKO WWE deal with Netflix is reportedly worth over $1 billion. The financial metrics look strong to Wall Street. And there is a theory actually discussed seriously in the IWC and TKO. Is deliberately making Pat McAfee so universally disliked that they hope it forces you to cheer louder for Cody. That the heat is engineered. That they know exactly what they're trying to do. Could it be that calculated? Absolutely. Does that make it good television? You tell me. Because if you're engineering the hate, because nobody wants to hate on Randy and you have to force it out and you have to engineer it, you're still losing ratings and filling seats with tarps at this point. Plan isn't working. So, for closing, TKO is ruining WWE in my opinion. That's my take. The data backs it. You see the people on the internet, whether it's Reddit, they're agreeing to it. CM Punk backed it on national TV at this point. And we have been on the record about these damn ticket prices since late December and late to 2025. Now, if this segment hits, do me a favor, smash that like button. It generally helps the channel grow. And drop your answer in the chat. Is this fixable? Or is WWE's past the point of no return under TKO? Let me know in the comments. Let's build this conversation on our video. Thanks for watching. If the T hit right, hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.